to Chandigarh.
We're live from New Delhi, you're watching DD India Live, India's voice to the world. I'm Lipakshi Khurana, coming up in the next 30 minutes. Donald Trump elected US President in stunning comeback. Trump is ahead of Harris with 279 versus 223. In his victory speech, former US President Trump says, "I'm not going to start wars, I'm going to stop wars."
America has given us an unprecedented and powerful mandate.
Israeli PM Netanyahu fires Defense Minister Yoav Gallant, appoints Israel Katz. Well, first, let's get you the latest in the US presidential polls. All right, Donald Trump claimed victory and pledged to heal the country on Wednesday as results put him on the verge of beating Kamala Harris in a stunning White House comeback. His exuberant speech came despite the fact that only Fox News had declared him the winner, with no other U.S. networks having made the call so far. As jubilant supporters cheered and chanted USA, Trump took to the stage at his campaign headquarters in Florida, along with his wife Melania and several of his children. In his victory speech, as the United States presidential election results became clear, Donald Trump said that he believed this was the greatest political movement ever.
Well, I want to thank you all very much. This is great. These are our friends. We have thousands of friends on this incredible movement. This was a movement like nobody's ever seen before. And frankly, this was, I believe, the greatest political movement of all time. There's never been anything like this in this country, and maybe beyond. And now it's going to reach a new level of importance because we're going to help our country heal. We're going to help our country heal. We have a country that needs help, and it needs help very badly. We're going to fix our borders. We're going to fix everything about our country. And we made history for a reason tonight, and the reason is going to be just that. We overcame obstacles that nobody thought possible, and it is now clear that we've achieved the most incredible political thing. Look what happened. Is this crazy?
While he thanked Americans for electing him the 47th U.S. president and vowed that this will be the golden age of America.
I want to thank the American people for the extraordinary honor of being elected your 47th president and your 45th president. And to every citizen, I will fight for you, for your family, and your future. Every single day I will be fighting for you, and with every breath in my body, I will not rest until we have delivered the strong, safe, and prosperous America that our children deserve and that you deserve. This will truly be the golden age of America. That's what we have to have.
But Trump also highlighted Republicans' extraordinary win in the swing states.
Of North Carolina, I love these places. Georgia, Pennsylvania, and Wisconsin. We are now winning in Michigan, Arizona, Nevada, and Alaska, which would result in us carrying at least 315 electoral votes, but it's much easier doing what the networks did or whoever called it, because there was no other path. There was no other path to victory. We also have won the popular vote. That was great. Very proud of that.
Well, Trump said it was America's powerful mandate that Republicans have taken control of the U.S.
America has given us an unprecedented and powerful mandate. We have taken back control of the Senate. Wow, that's good. And the Senate races in Montana, Nevada, Texas, Ohio, Michigan, Wisconsin, the great Commonwealth of Pennsylvania, were all won by the MAGA movement. They helped so much.
Well, Trump also congratulated U.S. Vice President-elect J.D. Vance, calling him a man with courage.
I want to be the first to congratulate our great, now I can say, Vice President-elect of the United States, J.D. Vance. And his absolutely remarkable and beautiful wife, Usha Vance. And he is a feisty guy, isn't he? You know, I've said, go into the enemy camp. And you know, the enemy camp is certain networks. And a lot of people don't like to, sir, do I have to do that? He just goes, okay. Which one? CNN, MSDNC? He'll say, all right, thank you very much.
And for more on this, we have Jessica Taneja joining us. Well, Jessica, now that the results are quite clear and Trump becomes only the second president to return to the White House, what swung it for Trump in all the battleground states especially? And also tell us about the strong team that had Trump's back securing his return to the power.
Well, the Trump movie before, and it's now time for sequel. I think they had voted for the sequel, and that's what they got. You see, he got the popular vote as well as the majority vote, historic winning 2 terms, and that sets the goal presidency and how it will continue moving forward. And given the has at this point, we would know.
All right, there seems to be an audio problem right now, Jessica, with your voice. We'll come back to you once we correct this. And right now, moving on, DD India's Amritpal Singh reports from Palm Beach, where Trump delivered his victory speech. Let's listen in.
A victory party, or the election watch party as it's known, of Donald Trump is taking place here inside the convention center. While there are huge crowds inside the convention center to listen to Donald Trump, but even as he speaks live out on the streets here, there is a festive mood. There are people who have gathered, primarily Republican supporters who have gathered. It is their moment of joy. It is their moment of victory, as American networks have now called in the U.S. election in favor of Donald Trump.
It was the most amazing experience of my life. The energy in that room cannot be matched by anything else. It was awesome.
We finally have someone who will take responsibility for his actions.
The last 4 years have been so horrible for the average American, with the rising inflation, with these wide open borders and the safety concerns, with the downfall of our education system, already worse, in a worse space than it was, 4 years ago, 8 years ago, 12 years ago. Like, we're not seeing the changes that we expected to see.
It's been a really long and tough campaign for Donald Trump and his running mate, and it has finally come to fruition, which the Republican supporters are enjoying to the hilt. With cameraman Sanjay Jena, this is Amritpal Singh for DD India at West Palm Beach.
And now we again go back to Jessica on US elections. Well, Jessica, we were talking to you about Trump's return to power, Trump's 2.0. But if we ask you in terms of foreign policy, what will Trump 2.0 mean for the world? And especially if we talk about India, as PM Modi and Trump share bonhomie between them, a strong relationship there.
In fact, they do. If you recall, the last time the two leaders had met, both in Gujarat and Prime Minister Modi was in, Washington D.C. There was a relationship, a personal relationship between the two, especially when it comes to enhancing India-US ties. And with the relations to India, no matter what government is in power, be it the Democrats or the Republicans, there has been bipartisan support when it comes to enhancing that strategic partnership with India. Now, in the last few years, you've seen how the Biden administration has worked on a lot of policies and issues and initiatives that have eased trade relations with India, and also made sure that there were new development programs, especially in the sectors of semiconductor and advanced tech, helping also India develop its key manufacturing basis for these particular sectors. That said, I think all of this would likely continue. Well, Trump's foreign policy has been consistent even in the past. Remember, it was in 2016 under his presidency that India became a major defense partner, something that United States has only with its allies, and India perhaps was an exception there. So, more than 2 decades we've been seeing this relationship only grow, and bilateral trade that grows into to more than $100 billion is certainly something that's going to keep the two on a momentum forward to work on similar issues. Highly unlikely to change, but yes, if you could see some friction, there could be on the tariff wars, which earlier President Donald Trump has indicated that he is sort of a little, intolerant towards high tariffs imposed on American goods reaching India. And also he had promised, or as he said earlier, we don't know moving forward, but earlier we had reports suggest that he would impose more than 20% tariff on Indian goods arriving on American soil. So these retaliatory tariff efforts, and of course we've seen in the past issues with H-1B visa. Now there are millions of Indians working in America with H-1B visa. So any kind of changes in the H-1B visa, which we saw in his last tenure, was particularly strict in terms of allowing giving more visas, and also granting permanent residency, which is the green card, has been awaited by many Indian citizens there who've been working in the United States for quite some time now. So all of this given in place, it's important to see on how how the relationship between the two players are on a personal diplomatic level. I think it has been great so far. The two leaders have met and are familiar with each other at a greater extent, but moving forward it will only be defined by United States strategic interest and India's strategic interest in how this relationship moves forward.
Right, Jessica, thank you so much for all those details. And moving on, India's Prime Minister Narendra Modi congratulated Donald Trump on his historic election victory. PM Modi wrote on X that he looks forward to renewing our collaboration to further strengthen the India-US comprehensive global and strategic partnership. Together, let's work for the betterment of our people and to promote global peace, stability and prosperity, unquote. And still to come in this edition of DD India Live. India's External Affairs Minister interacts with members of Australia-India Parliamentary Friendship Group. And we'll show you snow-capped peaks of Mount Fuji after its longest ever stint with bare slopes.
This week on Defense Dynamics, we will talk about the most recent events in the Middle East as the United States sends additional forces in response to the escalation of conflict between Iran and Israel. We will talk about B-52 bombers and tell you how they could impact upon the ongoing Israel-Iran tensions, and also how the United States military presence is altering the region's security dynamics. We will showcase India's latest success story of self-reliance in defense technology creating international buzz, the wheeled armored personnel carriers. Watch Defense Dynamics every Wednesday at 8:30 p.m. IST only on DD India.
Welcome back. You're watching DD India Live. I'm Lapakshi Khurana. Moving on, a former foreign minister, Israel Katz, has been appointed as the defense minister of Israel. The newly appointed defense minister vowed on Tuesday to defeat Israel's enemies and achieve the goals of the conflicts with Hamas and Hezbollah. Katz, a member of Netanyahu's right-wing Likud party, has been a member of the Knesset since 1998. He's held several ministerial posts in the past 2 decades, including agriculture, transport, intelligence, finance and energy portfolios. He was appointed foreign minister in 2019. Also, Gideon Star has been appointed as the new foreign minister of the country after his predecessor Katz took charge as the defense minister. Gideon Star is an Israeli politician currently serving as a member of the Knesset for New Hope. Well, United States on Tuesday called Gallant an important partner on all matters related to the defense of Israel. Responding to Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu's decision to fire Gallant, the U.S. said it will continue to work collaboratively with Israel's next defense minister. And moving on, Dr. Jaishankar met Australian PM Anthony Albanese on Wednesday in Canberra. They discussed ways to deepen the bilateral comprehensive strategic partnership between both the countries. During the meeting, Jaishankar also conveyed Prime Minister Narendra Modi's greeting to Albanese. The minister is on an official visit to Australia from November 3rd to 7th. And India's External Affairs Minister also interacted with members of Australia-India Parliamentary Friendship Group. He appreciated their warm sentiments for stronger political, economic and people-to-people ties with India. Well, earlier, Dr. S. Jaishankar attended the Raisina Down Under 2024 session in Canberra. He spoke about India's priorities in the Indo-Pacific and opportunities for greater collaboration with Australia and New Zealand. Well, delegates at the International Solar Alliance were introduced to India's innovative agrivoltaic model, blending agriculture with solar energy. Visiting a farm near Delhi, they saw how India is maximizing land use for food and energy. This approach highlights India's commitment to sustainable growth and balanced development. Take a look.
Delegates at the International Solar Alliance recently experienced India's innovative approach to sustainability. They visited an agrivoltaics farm on the outskirts of New Delhi in Najafgarh. Managed by the India Agrivoltaics Alliance, this farm demonstrates India is blending agriculture with solar energy production to address its growing need for sustainable practices. Agrivoltaics is a dual-use system where solar panels are elevated to allow crops to grow beneath them. This approach maximizes land usage by combining agriculture and energy production. The panels are mounted on raised structures with walkways which enable easy maintenance while allowing uninterrupted farming activities. Crops like cabbage are grown between the panel rows using interspace cropping to optimize land. Advanced software plays a role here too, modeling light and shade patterns to ensure crops receive right amount of sunlight, crucial for yield.
You continue producing the food and you're also producing energy. And I've actually been discussing with him and saying, but I think you could even do better. For example, if you used hydroponics, so where you can have different levels of crop, and that would reduce the time you actually take to recoup the money. So it is an appropriate technology. When properly used, you can actually, is also employing a number of people. He's producing food, he's producing energy, he's employing people, and then it fades into his other enterprise.
India faces a delicate balancing act between food security and energy needs. With food demand expected to rise sharply by 2050, the need for farmland is pressing. At the same time, the land required for solar and wind power to reach net zero goals is immense. In the pursuit of sustainability, India's innovative agri-voltaics approach offers a promising path by carefully balancing food and energy needs. India can lead the way in sustainable growth, setting an example for the world in achieving food security and energy independence. With camera person Gaurav Giri, this is Taposh Bhattacharya for DD India from Najafgarh, Delhi.
And to sports news now, the Indian Premier League 2025 mega auction is going to be held on November 24th and 25th in Jeddah, Saudi Arabia. The event, scheduled at the Abadi Al Johar Arena, marks the second consecutive year the auction has moved overseas, following Dubai's hosting in 2024. A total of 1,165 Indians and 409 overseas have signed up for the mega auction. The list includes 320 capped players, 1,224 uncapped players and 30 players from associate nations. An official IPL release confirmed. Indian Ambassador to Saudi Arabia, Dr. Suhail Ajaz Khan, welcomed the development, describing it as a historic first for Saudi-India relations. And Arjun Arigais beat compatriot Vidit Gujrati after 5 hours of end-to-end action in the opening round of the Chennai Chess Grand Masters in Chennai on Tuesday. Taking the command with white pieces, Vidit launched his onslaught with a king's pawn opening before Arjun countered with a French variation of the Sicilian defense and come out on top after just over 5 hours of play. In challengers category, which aimed to provide emerging Indian talent the chance, Ronak Sidhwani, Leon Mendonca, V. Pranav and Abhimanyu Puranik are new emerging names in the chess. An incoming Manchester United manager, Ruben Amorim, delivered a memorable farewell in his final home game for Sporting, leading them to a remarkable 4-1 victory over Manchester City. City's star striker Erling Haaland missed a penalty while Victor Gyökeres stole the show with a hat-trick. City initially led with Phil Foden's early goal, but Gyökeres equalised in the 38th minute and added 2 penalties in the second half. Sporting's Maximiliano Araujo also scored moments after half-time. The win, hailed by Sporting fans as one of Amorim's finest, capped a 7-game winning streak, adding a special farewell to his reign. And snow finally fell on Mount Fuji after the Japanese mountain's longest ever stint with bare slopes, making 2024 year as the latest arrival of snow. Camera footage captured shows a covering of snow on Mount Fuji's peak. All right, that's all for this edition of DD India Live, but let us know your thoughts on the news of the day. For those on the go, you can get all the latest news and updates from India and across the world on the DD India mobile app. The app is available on both Android and iOS platforms. Scan the QR code on the screen to download now. We'll be back with more news as it breaks here on DD India. I'm Lipakshi Khurana from all of us here in Delhi. Thanks for watching DD India Live.